Well, D, meet Whitney. Whitney, meet D. Let me take this mask off.
Hi, Whitney. Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, beautiful.
A lot of positive energy. A lot of positive energy going on.
I feel it.
Right.
So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today on our Do What You Like Fitness Conversation series. We are talking with awesome humans that are inspiring others and changing the world.
And today we have Rock with D. She's straight from Harlem, and she's a motivational coach. She also does Zoom fitness classes, and she's also a new author of a great book that's very inspiring, and it's called Don't Let These Hills Fool Ya. So we'd like to thank you for being with us today, D. And you're going to tell us all about how you started.
Awesome. Welcome.
And where you going?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So just tell us a little bit about, like currently what you're doing now, and then we'll backtrack to where you came from.
I'm currently doing fitness classes through Zoom. Actually, yesterday I was a guest guest instructor for Spartan Sundays. Spartan Sundays have a group. Yes, I instructed their class for the first time as a guest yesterday, and it was awesome. So, hopefully in the future I'll be involved in that. I have a apparel line, which is workout gear and waist trainers. I also do the health and wellness with the vitamins, the detoxes, and all of those things. So yeah, I have a lot going on in my book that I put out February 4th of 2021.
Right. And that was the anniversary of Nana's passing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was,
that's mom.
I thought it was my mom passed on February 4th. So I released my book on that day. And it was very important for me to release that book because I felt that shortly after I realized the woman that I was meant to be. Mm-hmm. And that's interesting. Through her, passing, I realized that, and I've been doing my best to live in that purpose ever since.
I think that's great because, I feel like death brings, like, it can send you one or two ways. Some people fall down and, I don't want to say they use it as an excuse, but I guess because I'd never use it as an excuse myself, but people like they fall down and then they don't really get up after it or whatever, but you try to use it as a positive energy to celebrate her life, and that's how I always felt. I always said, I want to make my mom proud. I'm not going to be angry.
But when we go backwards, I'm going to explain to how I got there.
Yes, that's what I want to know. But I want to say one thing. I love the bike. You got the spin bike in the back.
Yes.
So you're doing spin, or is that Peloton? What's that?
Peloton. I have a Peloton. I've had it since I've got a month after my mom passed.
She's rich. See, now we're going to tell you how she got rich. And we're
going
to talk about those plants too. So you're very positive. I love my very positive. I've been seeing you on Instagram. It's like as if I didn't know you, but I do know you. I know some of where you come from. So, but I want you to tell us, like, just how did you make that change into becoming so motivational?
Well, I was raised in the hoods of Harlem.
Yep. You see this behind me, right? That's Harlem, the old Harlem.
That's right. That's old Harlem.
Yeah.
I was raised in Harlem, with my mom, my dad, and a family. And I was raised into a very drug addiction family, and growing up, I found myself being a product of my environment. I got pregnant at 18. I had my son at 19. And at that point, I realized that I had to make a choice. It was either, succumb to what I knew, which was, just negativity, a lot of hustling and bustling and, doing all the wrong things that I realize now, or make a change and be a better person and mom, for my child. So I remember walking out the welfare office, public assistance office at 19. It was like, just don't feel right. This is not for me. Mm-hmm. And I haven't looked back since. I'm 20 years in law enforcement. And I just decided, and I stumbled upon that. I was just a young girl looking for a job. I started working private security, and they posted me somewhere, and I met some people, and they pulled me up under their wing. I wasn't even a high school graduate at the time. I went back to school after I had my son. My son walked across the aisle with me at 1, and I just, ever since then, I just been, you got to do better. You got to do better. You got to do better. Not that my mom did the best that she could, and she did a great job, but she taught me what she knew, So I can't fault her for anything. She gave me everything, she taught me what she knew, and that was hustling in the streets and, finding that way. So I just took that and put it into a positive, way. And I just grinded ever since. And yeah.
So, I mean, so when did you
positive as I can throughout everything. I've had my, I done survived domestic violence. I survived bankruptcy. I done went through my obstacles and my trials and tribulations, but I continue to move forward for me and to show Kayvon, which is my son, he's 25 now, that no matter where you come from, there's a better way.
Right.
And you can do it as long as you put your mind to it. Whatever it is. So.
Right. I love that. That ambition is great coming from where we come from. So, yes. But how did you decide to tie it into the whole health and wellness too?
So right, that was my next question.
Yeah. So I was tapping into working out, in my 20s, because I started gaining weight. Started tapping into working out. I was consistent a little bit, and then I lost it going back and forth. So when my mom passed, remember I lost my mom and my grandmother within 6 days.
Whoa.
My mom actually passed right before we were supposed to leave to go to Virginia to go to my grandmother's funeral. And when you said that you didn't understand it, some people use it as an excuse, but I felt myself falling. My mom died suddenly, and how much my mom, had an impact.
She was cool, man. Her mom was really cool.
She was so close to my mom. She was like the Harlem's angel. She just embraced everybody.
She loved everybody.
She fed everybody, and she passed suddenly. And that was, we kind of knew my grandma she was 92. So we knew it was coming. You never want to see somebody pass, but we knew it was coming. My mom was a shock. And I didn't know how to take that. I held myself together because I'm the oldest sibling, and I did what I had to do. But after that, I was on a slippery slope, and I started falling. And I had entered a fitness challenge with 2 of my friends, but in January. But when that happened, February 4th, they didn't say anything about it. But later on, they seen that I wasn't doing good mentally. I was still going to work, still coming home, doing what I had to do on a daily day basis, but my mind wasn't there. I was just existing, put it like that. Mm-hmm. And she was like, sis, you should get the bike, because she had already had the bike. She was like, get the bike, and I'm like, she was like, maybe you need to start doing something, start working out. And I was like, okay. I went online and just ordered it. It was just I ordered it. Nice. I told my wife, she was like, listen, that's an expensive bike. If I use the clothing on there, we're going to have a problem.
Right. Good wife. Happy wife, happy life.
No. She was like, you like to do, come up with these things, and then you don't do nothing with them. I'm like, no, I am. But I knew that I always used to love spin. I used to go to the gym before, and I used to do spin. So I kind of knew I liked it, so I was like, that wasn't too hard to figure out. So I got it. It saved my life. Yes. I use fitness. It was like I put all that negative energy into that. Some days I was crying on the bike. Some days I was laughing on the bike, depending on what music. And I just went into fitness. It was like that was the only thing that I could think of to bring me back. I started smiling again. My wife's like, whatever's making you smile like that, keep that bike. Get another one if you have to. Because she said, I'm a very strong person. So she said it was very scary for her to see the strongest person in the family. Even, I took care of my mom, at times. So she said to see that, I was just scared. She was like, I was scared. Sometimes I was scared to come home because I seen that you wasn't there. So when she seen the effect that fitness had on me, she was like, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And that's how and that's why I tell people, and I explain to people that to this day, the outer part is the benefit, the extra benefit. It's here that we got to do every day.
Right.
Even through COVID, even through all of this, I find that fitness keeps me sane. It keeps me sane. It balances me out.
Same here. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking good. You're looking good.
I'm quite sure both of you agree with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What is the best medicine?
Yeah.
The best medicine.
Because if I didn't have that, I probably would have been on some depression pills or something. And I've never experienced that, but I was so scared that if I fell, that I wasn't going to be able to get back up because I never experienced something like that. But I felt me like going down. I would come home and just sit on the couch and just drink bottles of wine. And that's not even like me. Like, I don't even do stuff like that. So, it was kind of my, I remember Kayvon calling April one time, was like, oh, mommy's drinking a lot of wine. She was like, I know, I stopped buying it, but she is over 18. Like, she is over 21. She can buy her own wine. I was like, oh, you don't want to buy it? I can buy my own wine. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely glad you came out of that because, I mean, I know it hurts. I definitely know it hurts. And then, and you were older, I always tell people like, people feel bad for me or whatever because I lost my parents so young. But I feel like when you're older and you have that relationship as an adult with your mom or dad, to lose them then is harder. I was like 12 running around, so it hurt, but I was able to run around, keep busy, and not forget, but so it's different. So I'm glad you use it as a positive tool.
Yeah.
And then you're spreading the word and you're smiling, like you said, because like, not that I know you to be mean, but I know you to be serious. Like when I see you serious, like, so like I see, like you do seem a little more brighter with what you
tells me that. And I'm like, I'm not, I'm just not outside of all this people, it's hard to tell people I'm not a people's person. I'm really not. Like, I'm really not. I'm not a people's person. Like, I would rather be in my own shell, chilling, because of my mom. I always blame it on my mother. I was always around people.
Oh, so kind of like became annoying type of thing?
Yeah, it was like always a house full of people. She invited, I was all family members, always around. I never had, when I was younger, never had my own space, and it was always around people. So I'm the type I kind of like pull back and be like, okay. So I don't mean to be mean. It's just like, I like my own space. And
nothing wrong with that.
I work in law enforcement.
Yeah.
So it's just a persona.
Gotta be strong.
It's just that persona. Yeah.
Oh well, I see you doing your challenges too, and I mean you're doing better than me. From what I can see, it look like you. If you say you're doing them every day, you're doing them every day.
Yeah.
I'm doing so much. I get busy. I miss a day, and here and there. But I go down my feed and I see you. I'm like, okay, I got to do this.
That's why we hold each other accountable. You still get your workouts in, Teray. She's doing good. She's doing good.
I be seeing her. She's doing
I
great.
know. She's
doing great. She's not giving herself all that credit, but she's doing great.
You know what? You're right. I better give myself that credit. After reading your book, you talk about that too, like just not giving yourself the credit and stuff like that. So let me look. I jotted down 2 notes. Matter of fact, before I go into that, Whitney, maybe you want to ask Dee any questions? You have anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I have one. This is something that I love to ask everyone. I'm always very interested in this. Because I have my own the rituals that I do in the morning when I wake, right before I leave to go to work. Do you have anything specific, any kind of rituals that you do when you get up in the morning?
I would love to adopt some, but I get up with God, literally.
Hey, yeah.
So it's very hard for me to do that and work out, because I'm so pressed for time. I get up the days after work, I get up at 3:30 in the morning.
Whoa.
So I can work out before work because I need to be in the shower by like 4:35. So you see, I have so I have to get up, get dressed, start working out. So I have a very kind of strict, so I want to start meditating. I know it's best to meditate in the morning, but it might be have something I have to do at night. I don't know. I don't know how to properly meditate. I was following someone who's been meditating, so I'm gonna start trying to create my own, but just get a guide on how to do it. But no, I don't have no. I get up in the morning, even when I'm off. I get up, I get dressed, I work out. And then everything else comes after that. Because if I do anything else in between, I'm gonna be sidetracked and I'm not gonna want to work out.
Well, the working out in a way is kind of, you've already got your mindset. This is what I need to do. And it's structured. So it's kind of like a ritual in a way. I mean, for you, everybody, everyone's different in what they do. But so in working in law enforcement, are you working most every day? Is it through the week or yeah? So that's how you're pretty structured like that every single day.
And I picked the morning because that was the time that I found after trying to find this time, that time, playing with different times, that was the only time that was uninterrupted.
True.
Because of my job, the afternoon after work is not guaranteed, or what that time that I might have had set is not guaranteed. Life happens, family, everything happens, these obstacles that come in your way. And sometimes we're like, all right, it's just today. And then we go 3-4 days, we haven't worked out. Yeah. And it's like, it's been one of those weeks. So for me, unless it's an emergency, it's nothing happening at 3:30 in the morning. Right? Nothing happening at 3:30 in the morning.
I think that's good advice. If I could adapt that myself, but like I'm horrible at getting up in the morning. Like I have to be here. So I fight with the alarm clock to just get here to work. So to get up any earlier on a regular basis is just hard for me. But you're right. And I've heard that many times. If you get up and work out before everybody else starts to call in and starts, get up before them, it works. And that would be great. But I don't know, man. My body just won't do it.
What time do you have to be to work in the morning?
Not even that early. 9:30.
So I'm gonna make you feel a little bad. Go ahead. I have an hour and 15, hour and a half commute.
On top of, man.
That's right. She's getting up at 3:30.
So that's why I have to get up. I have to be, that's why I have to get up. So whatever time I have to do something, I create that hour and a half. So I can, and it's times that I've been at work and I'm getting home 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shoot straight to bed because I got to get up in the morning. I gotta get up in the morning because I gotta work out.
Oh man, I'm gonna try to work on that. Like when I say it's bad, I mean it's really bad. Like I don't know if it's because me DJing, all these years. I'm more of a night person, and then even besides DJing, just working in my field. When I worked at post houses, I usually worked in the afternoon to night shift, or I used to work overnights, a lot of nights,
right,
or whatever. So my schedule would be the same. Like I would work evening to nights, and then the weekend come, and then I'm late night DJing, or I worked overnights, and then the weekend came late night. So it was a steady schedule the same way. But then when I would go into positions where I worked in the day, and then the weekend come and I DJ at night, man, it was just like
it throws your sleep pattern off.
Yeah, it was hard. So I've always had a bad relationship with the snooze. Anybody that's lived with me hate it because I press it probably 10 times. And it's like I'm sleepwalking. So, but that would be that. I think that is excellent advice for those that can get up in the morning early. Do it before anybody starts.
So what I do is I have one alarm.
It goes off one time and you're good. You're up.
I don't hit snooze.
Because
I know if I hit snooze, it allows me that extra time. If I don't hit snooze, and because I know I also have a commute, that I'll give myself about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I have to get out of the bed because there's no other alarm. So if I fall back to sleep, I'm probably going to be there for
Yeah. And then if you have that long a commute, I'm pretty sure if you miss something, you're not getting it for the next hour, whatever the case is. Right. Like me, I know a train is every 5 or 10 minutes. So I
don't have I see all those options. I don't have. It's like, you can do it.
All right, I pulled up the quotes that and you can either elaborate on them or not. I just want to mention them. I thought they stuck out to me. So let's see. One of them you wrote, before I jump off the mountain, I pray that God cushions my fall, allowing me to be protected in case I fall, but I don't ask him not to allow me to fall.
I just spoke about this on my live yesterday.
Well, let's talk about it. Tell us.
Yes. So we go through this fear thing, right? And we go through this asking God, to do this and do that, and don't let this happen to us and don't let that happen to us. But I think everything that happens in the process is for a reason, whether it's good or bad. And, even going back to my mom, that was for somebody, even if it wasn't for me.
I agree.
So everything happens in your life for a reason. So when I'm doing something, a big task, just like yesterday when I instructed that class, that was the first time I had instructed something on a large platform. So when I got the DM, I kind of read it and hesitated, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So I took a minute. And then when I read it, I immediately accepted without even thinking about it. And then I was like, listen, we asked and said we want these things or whatever we want, these successes in life. But then when the opportunity comes to us, we allow fear to stop us. But then say we're not getting nowhere. So I jump into it's a good and a bad thing. I jump into anything that I want to do. And on the way down, I always jump off the mountain and I pray on the way down. That's a bad thing. Sometimes we should pray before, but I jump on my way down. And why I do that? Because I already jumped. So I'm already into it. And I ask God to, if I am meant to fall, just brace my fall. Because when you say fall, you think of a failure. I don't think of it as a failure. I think of it as lesson learned. Or maybe something needs to be changed or, reevaluated. You don't do it this way or don't do that way. So I don't look at it as a fail. I look at it as a life lesson. So if I have to fall, just cushion my fall and allow me to get back up and do something different or go another way. But just allow me to get back up. I just, cushion the fall if I have to fall, because we have to fall sometimes. So I'll be unrealistic, asking God for unrealistic things and trying to be upset at unrealistic things. So it's all about perspective and how we think about things.
Well, I love that.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, no, I really love that. That's why I highlighted it, because it's like I can learn from that. I'm a lot of times I'm like, I don't know. You see, I say I'm shy, and maybe I need to just pray that he cushions the fall instead of worrying about falling. Because I might fall.
Yeah,
or maybe I won't. I'll get through it.
Fall sometimes, because without any falls and bumps and bruises, how will we learn?
Right.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, there's plenty of chances that I don't take because of that, but I think I'm gonna learn from that. You're gonna teach me today. You're gonna learn today.
And so we have to do those things sometimes that scare the heck out of us, like you said, that's how we learn. I've had opportunities before where I'm like, oh God, like, I don't think I can do that. And I'm like, but wait, I asked for this, like what you said. And then you just like accept it and you learn as you go. And it's amazing how things start to open up and what you learn. And then the fear starts to leave. Yeah.
Yeah. The fear leaves, and it leaves so quick that you be like, I was scared to do that.
Exactly.
Do you know Ash, Shorty?
Who? Ashley?
Ash Cash.
Ash Cash. I know the name.
So he from St. Nick.
Okay.
If you see his face, you'll know him. I've either known him on social media and influencer.
That's what I'm like. I know the name. Yeah.
So he's my mentor.
Okay.
And he tells us, do it scared.
Do it scared? Okay.
Without knowing what you're doing. Do it ugly. Put your ugly pictures out there. Put this, because when I say we waiting for things to be perfect, and we never get it done. Because we waiting for that perfect shot, that perfect picture, this to be perfect this way, and you talk yourself out of getting anything done. It's never going to be perfect, especially in the beginning. You're going to look back and be like, I put that up. My workouts was looking like that. But that's how you learn, though.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Well, when it comes to that, I'm usually not too shy with the posting because I'm just like, I'm thinking back, like I'm thinking in the future, people will look back and like, hey, that's where I started from. Like that's how you get the before and the afters, you know, so stuff like that. But it's
process.
It's the live in person stuff that I kind of like, but because you can't rewind it, but I'm gonna take from that. I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming.
It is where we all, everybody can learn, right? And so like I feel like when we're helping others, I mean, that's when we succeed, right? When we're all, you know, helping each other, stronger together. I'm always saying that.
There's no success without you helping someone else.
That's right.
Yeah.
None.
That is true. Yeah. So that ties into my next quote that I took from your book. It's about us women. And here we are, 3 women, National Women's Month, talking about uplifting each other and ourselves. And this quote from your book goes as a grown woman, I never understood the reason people help others and turn around and talk about what they did or who they did it for, especially when it's another woman. I experienced that a whole lot. I don't get it. I know you did it for me. Talk about it.
To say, don't adjust another queen's crown if you have to talk about it.
Nice. That was another thing you mentioned in the book. You said maybe she was just trying to lift your chin up so your crown didn't fall or something to that effect. So you know I read the book.
I'm reading the book next.
Yes. Tell me what you think about it. I think that's very important, right? Because just because I lend my hand or whatever I need for you at that time in that moment of need or helping you, why do I feel I have to talk about it? What do I gain from that? Because especially in circles of women that know each other, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if I'm so touched by me helping you and what the connection we have, and I come home and share that with my wife, you know, because it just affected me, that's different, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about gossiping about it. I don't, you know, because my thing is, if you wanted that other woman to know, you would have told her. So why is it my business to go now tell your business? Would I want somebody to do that? Would I want somebody in my vulnerable state to take that and share that with somebody that I may not want to share that with? It's none of their business.
Right.
It makes you look bad. It makes you look bad because anything that's done from the heart don't need to be talked about.
That's right. And when someone takes the time to trust you and to confide in you with something that's very personal to them, it is, you hold that private. That is so private and special. Like
it is.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, it is. And then and another thing, because the world is small, so you never know who knows who. Mm-hmm. Down the line, you know, you see that, you be like, oh, I hope she don't say about what I told her. Yeah. You know, you never know who's connected in different ways. You know, I have a very dear person to my heart. She went through some stuff in life, and about 10 years down the line, she bumped into somebody else and felt that she wanted to share that with them, but we was all, you know, associated. And she said, oh, she didn't tell you? She said, no, she never told me nothing like that. She came to me and she kind of embraced, she was like, everybody was talking about me. She was like, and I said, nah, that wasn't my business to tell her. Because it was a very personal thing. No, that's not my business to tell her. You felt the time whenever whether it was 10 years later or what. Now, what about if I did? She was like, yeah, girl, she told me. I knew about all that. She told me. And then she would have been looking at me sideways, not trusting me. Yeah. You know? So it's not worth it. It's not worth the relationships for me.
Well, I like that you mentioned, you know, like if maybe you tell your wife something, because I've always said that, like, you know, I'm not going to go around telling somebody's business, but I always assume, because I can be guilty of it, that they may tell their mate. Unless you say, yo, don't tell nobody, then I may not even tell my husband. But like, if you don't say that, then you go home and you talk about stuff. It's not that I'm talking about you, but you know, like you said, you might mention it to your wife. I might mention it to my husband, but that's about it, you know?
But in some instances, I'm gonna be honest with you, depending on if they have a relationship with my wife, I might not even say anything to my wife. Mm-hmm. Because they have a relationship. So if that person wanted my wife to know, they would have told my wife.
True.
You know, so those close relationships are kind of iffy too, because you're still telling someone, even though I'm telling my wife.
Right.
You know.
Well, so. I had that experience recently. I swear, like last week, probably it was somebody that's close to my husband, you know, and I knew something. I mean, it wasn't drastic, but it was just like, oh, you know, they might have not been feeling well or something. And I didn't say anything. And then they spoke to him and was like, oh, Teray knew. And he came to me, he's like, why you didn't tell me? You know, you know, this person is close to me. Why wouldn't you tell me? I was like, because I just thought it was more of a female conversation we had, and not, you know, and he was like, no, listen, that's my blood. Like, what if I had, you know, something to say about your brother or something and you didn't tell me, you know? And I was like,
yeah, it gets iffy sometimes.
Yeah, so I didn't say anything. So it's not an always thing, but
yeah, no, it's not an always thing, but you know, just those certain circumstances, I never I try to treat people like I want them to treat me at those, especially those vulnerable moments. Oh, yeah. I don't want everybody knowing my business if I'm just calling you and asking for some help or just an ear or whatever. That doesn't mean that you now need to get off the phone with me and call.
Oh yeah, no, that's crazy.
No, now the whole group know what I'm going through. If that was the case, I would have did a conference call.
Right. Or posted it or something. Like, right. Yeah, this is true. Like, you know, I always say, like, for the most part, like, I'm an open book, so I don't, you know, but if I'll tell you, like, hey, between me and you or whatever. But for the most part, it's not too much I worry about. I just feel like, you know, people like how we're talking, you could learn from it. Yeah, you can learn.
And like I said, I think people feed off. I think people want that. People want the transparency. People want to see you that you're human.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That you deal with things just like anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's good for everybody's mental health.
Yes.
And that ties. I mean, all of this ties in, right?
That's all ties together. Mental, physical, spiritual, all of it. It's all connected.
She's big on that. She's big on the, you know, that's what she asked you. She asked you about your rituals. Like, she has these rituals. She does them. You know, when you talked about meditation, she does that in the yoga and, you know, breathing and how important breathing is. I feel like I can't breathe. You know, she's actually the person to talk to about that and health and food and all of that good stuff.
I love yoga. I used to go to Bikram all the time.
Yes.
Bikram is like the best thing ever. I got introduced to it and I don't know nothing else. But unfortunately, because of COVID, ever since it's been open, I'm an asthmatic, so I can't do it with the mask on.
Oh,
I'm so upset that I can't wait till they open it back up. Because
hot yoga, sweating like that in a space and just releasing not only toxins, but just releasing anything and everything from your body, mentally, physically. Oh my God, nothing like it. Some people think I'm nuts. They're like, you go in a room that's like 110 degrees and sweat like that. I was like, why not? So exciting.
And you know what it does also? It actually keeps you on point because you know you can't do certain things as far as your eating, drinking, and all that and go to high yoga. Because you're going to pass out and kill yourself.
That's right.
So I know that I can't be eating crazy. It's not a lot of partying and drink because you have high yoga. You can't go in there dehydrated, bloat. You can't do all that when you go to high
absolutely.
Because it's also a way to keep you on your goal track. You know, sometimes we have to play mental games with ourselves. Like I say that all the time.
Let's let the people know how they can reach you, all about your classes, what you're doing. Tell them about the apparel, about the food, tell them and how it all ties in.
How it all ties in?
Yeah.
You can reach me on Instagram and on Facebook, Rock with D. I'm under both. I have a apparel line, which is fitness gear, my book, waist trainers, some t-shirts and hoodies, and you know, some regular Rock with D apparel. And you can also click the link in my bio. What we have, oh my God, so much. It's like 40 different products on that website, and they're amazing. And also, I just love to. I was asked what was my passion. Like, I do so many things. You know, I have my own baking business. So I was always asked what was my passion. My passion is to motivate. I love to motivate young girls and women. I have this saying that I I'm looking for that little girl in the window who's looking out beyond her buildings, projects, and thinking that everything that's past that is too far from her reach. And I say that because I was the little girl in the window looking past those buildings and those project buildings, wondering what was out there. And I'm on the other side of that now, saying that all of this is available to you. You know, all of this is at reach. You can have this too, as long as you're willing to work hard for it.
Right.
And to put in the work and believe in yourself. It's all in your mental. It's all in our mindsets and how much we believe in ourselves. We say we do, but do we really believe in ourselves? So with that deep, feeling that that you can do it, anything's possible. So I'm coming for those little girls in the window.
Tell them, just go for it. That's what I always say, just go for it.
Yes.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Whitney, didn't you want to tell her about one of her shirts? I don't know if it's a shirt.
Yes.
Shirt.
Yes, I was looking at your site. There was a shirt on there, and I'm going to get it for Teray. And it says, "No, you can't rub my head." That one.
Is that one of your shirts? Can we get it from you?
Oh,
no, you order it on my site.
I want to get that for Teray. Because
listen, so am I the only one? And so many people, and a lot of times they don't say it, but it's in their face.
They want to
you can tell, and you be like, no, like don't rub my head. Like don't even think.
Don't think
that
about
you're
it.
Gonna reach and rub my head. Like oh my God. So many people have been like, oh, can I? No, like, why do you want to rub my head? What's wrong with you?
Oh no, but I feel like, you know what? Now, if I get the shirt, no, I don't really get that. So if I get the shirt, they like, oh, come here.
Right.
You know, like girls with the weaves, they're like, oh, don't touch my hair.
Yeah, like it's oh my God, it's crazy. Like I have people like, and I'm like, don't play with me. That's when I gotta put on the serious face, like, don't play with me.
But I like that. That's dope because, like I said, so many people with the weaves don't touch my hair. Don't touch a woman's hair. Or don't touch a Black woman's weave and all this. So it's just like, how about us that have short hair or bald heads?
Yeah,
I
don't
like
rub my
that.
head. No,
I like that. So
I'll
accept your offer.
I don't really like. I've had people walk up to me before and just be like, "Oh, I want to touch your hair," and I'm like, "What? No, I don't do that to people. Right. That's kind of like." It's like personal property here.
Right, this is sacred right here.
Whether your hair or no hair, it's like
yeah.
And I'm very big on energy.
Oh yeah,
I'm very big on energy. So even when I had locks at one time, I used to be like, "Yo, don't touch my locks," because your energy is gonna transfer over. And just like with my head,
that too.
Yeah, your energy is gonna transfer over. I have to protect my energy at all times. Don't. And I'll do it. I wouldn't even be thinking. Somebody see somebody gesture, I'm like, don't touch my head. I'm very big on that.
All right, so all the ladies out there, I guess guys too, if they don't want their head touched, go to your page and get that shirt. No, you can't rub my head.
You can't rub my head.
All right, so we're gonna finish it off. The most valuable part, probably. I mean, you gave a lot of wisdom today that ties into, why you're more healthy and fit and shape. That ties with, mental clarity and things like that. But if you're looking at that little girl in the window, that's looking out the window, maybe you're like downstairs, she's looking out. Just give us some advice. What would you give these young girls? Because that's really who you want to help everybody, I'm pretty sure. But that's who I noticed, even from reading your book, that's who you want to reach.
Yes. Believe in yourself. No matter what nobody tell you, no matter what relationship you have to them, no matter the proximity of them to you, believe in yourself and understand that you can do anything as long as you believe in yourself. Put your mind to it. Put your best foot forward, one foot in front of the other. With fear, with obstacles are not obstacles. Obstacles are just meant for you to be put in front of you to you find another route. That don't mean that door closes. That's just something for you to find another route. Maybe that route, something was going on. Trust God's journey and his tracks for you. and just, you know, it may be frustrating. You may not get what you want, but keep on putting that work in. And self-development is very, very, very important. You know, you have to be careful what you listen to, have to be careful, you know, who you let speak to you. The what you're saying about yourself, anything after I am, that's what you are. So I am whatever, that's what you are. And when you speak it, that's what you tell the universe that you are. The universe responds what you give it, whether it's negative or positive. So a lot of times we're putting out negative energy and don't even realize it and want to know or understand why we're getting negative results from everything that we're doing. It's because that's what we're putting out and the energy is responding to that.
Preach,
so
talk about
it. Put out positive energy and put out those positive things and what we want. Know that that's what you're going to get back. It may take a while, it may take some time, but that's what you're going to get back eventually because you're doing the work.
Yes.
Fun after a while.
I love it. Hey, I'm proud of you, girl. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So great.
We didn't, you know what? We didn't even talk about, the plants. You got
we
the
can talk about
garden. I mean, I know we were on the closeout, but you can talk about that real quick, like the plants. Like, you know, you started growing your own vegetables and obviously you have a space. I'm assuming you're in the house now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a space for all of that and you were growing it. And when I was home sick with COVID, you know what I'm saying? You allowed me to, you know, pick your brain about some of it. And I was doing okay until a windstorm came and knocked my plants over and then they just broke and wouldn't grow back properly. But I was doing good. Like I was getting some cucumbers and everything. I really wish like I had a little garden. I'll have one day.
No, but listen, but see, you're gonna have one day. That's good. You're gonna get there. But I started in an apartment. I started doing like little boxes in an apartment. And I really didn't know I was into it until I got the house. Mm-hmm. And I love it. Like even planting flowers, any type of greenery it's like a meditation for me. So I'll find that when I'm going through something, and sometimes I'll look back and say, what made me do that? Well, I didn't even have time for that. My mom was so busy. I'll go buy 3 things of dirt and I'll just start planting. And that gives me one thing to focus on and it allows me to drown out everything else that's just crowding my brain and just overwhelming at the time. So that's how I got into it.
Already.
Huh?
You're meditating already.
In a different way. Right.
Yeah. You find what works for you. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I do mint. I do not all, but most of the herbs. Basil, chives, green onions. I have this Mexican oregano. It's like a succulent. So it looks like it grows like a succulent. I read that and where it comes from that they use it as a regular plant because it's so nice. And then they just clip from it to use it. So I love growing herbs. Last year was the first time I tried strawberries and tomatoes. They were really good. I did my own kale and spinach. They were really good. And I found that it tastes totally different.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different
That's
taste.
truly organic,
Major
right?
difference in grown gardening. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm so into it. I have this basil plant down there and I'm looking like, okay, it's getting warm. I'm gonna have to start putting it outside. So yeah, I love it. I asked after April Cook, I'll be like, did you use the herbs? She's like, yeah, I'll be like, all those, she be like, I'll be forgetting about those fresh herbs. But I use them all the time. And now that I have an air fryer, they have the dehydrate function.
Yes.
So now I can dehydrate my own stuff and make my own seasonings.
I'm gonna reach out to you again because I'm gonna try to start again. I'm guessing I should start now, probably, right?
Yeah, because we're probably maybe one more frost, but we probably at the nighttime you gotta be careful. But you know what you do? Start them in the house. And then you could get the pre-grown ones already. You don't have to start by seeds. I don't start by
That's
seeds.
what I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And start them in the house. And then as soon as it get warm, put them out on the terrace.
All right.
And then bring them back in when it gets cold. But you know, some of them say like mint. My mint, I have mint spreads. So don't put that in no other pot with nothing else because it's just going to take over. I have a mint that started like this. A friend gave it to me. And it's about 4 times every year. it dies, goes away for the winter, but it doubles the next season. So it's doubled. Like I can make as many mojitos and mint waters for years, and I'll be good. Yeah, it's probably starting to grow like right now. And like now it'll start coming up. But even that, I'll go back there and I'll cut my mint and put it in my water, make tea. I started eating it because it's good for your the chemicals in the mint is good for your breath, good for your teeth. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I just chew on the mint leaves. Yeah. Oh, wow. I want to hear all about your meditation and your yoga and stuff. I be seeing pictures of you. I be liking all your pictures.
Talking to Whitney, that's you, not me.
Yes, oh, you're talking to me.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, me. Oh, I thought she was talking to Teray. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, yoga, you know what? It's been I started yoga. Well, I'm a dancer. And so yoga and dance just kind of went together for me, especially in college. That's really when I started the yoga and been going strong ever since. But it helps me mentally, physically. It's just an incredible, it's a gift. I feel like, because I get to teach it, right? So I get to do it for myself. So I get to learn from others. And then I get to take that gift and give it, to anyone else that is wanting to receive it. So whenever I teach, whether I'm doing a group for Teray, there was like a whole group of us during the pandemic that would go outside, coworkers.
Yeah, come join us this summer.
Yeah, you should come
join us.
Where
do you go?
We just do it. We're going to start it back up when it gets a little warmer out in Battery Park. We just find a spot in the grass and we all just spread out into a nice big circle and
hot yoga
do class. Yeah, it's nice. Yoga. It's nice when it's real hot outside because then we're sweating like hot yoga. But I teach
what times do you normally do it?
When we were doing it last summer, it was like literally right after work, like at 5:15.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure out now when we're gonna start it back up, what time. But I teach a class also for our senior adults at the place here where we work. And I just love it. Is so rewarding when I have someone who's 99 years old in my class. Yeah. And she just turned 99 and she started taking my yoga class. I guess it was about a year and a half ago. And she had never done yoga before. She'd been active in her life, but had never done yoga and came to class. And it has just opened a whole new world for her. And it is just so beautiful. And it's such a powerful connecting experience. It doesn't matter what age you are. I mean, I tell people that all the time. I tell young people that. I'm like, just come, just try it. It's
the first time ever I went to yoga, I did Bikram that was my first yoga class ever. And I tried it because a friend was raving about it. And she was like, just hydrate because she knows I'm an asthmatic. Just take your pump with you. And the first 2 classes, I took my pump before. After that, I didn't need it. And I actually, at that time, I stood on my shoulders my 3rd class. But I used to be in gymnastics when I was younger. Mm-hmm. So, that muscle memory. Mm-hmm. But and the teacher was like, you said that you never did yoga. I was like, nope. And he was like, okay, you did great. So that's the thing about it, and even because I have a bad sciatica, even with that, I went one time and told the instructor, like, my back is really bothering me. She was like, listen, focus on your breathing. Of course, if you feel pain, you stop. But focus on your breathing. I got through that whole class with no pain. With no pain.
Powerful.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, I can't wait till I can go back to hot yoga. I love it.
Yes, me too.
Let us know what your day off is, and we'll do it like in June and July outside.
Yes,
that's
nice and hot.
That's why we started doing it, because I kept saying I miss hot yoga. Matter of fact, right before the pandemic hit, Whitney and I was looking at studios, and we were gonna go to hot yoga. Remember?
Oh wow!
We were looking at different hot yoga studios, and we were
I was at Yoga to the People for a long time.
I was about to say that.
Yeah,
that's where I started.
There forever, and then I was at Moto, in the Village, forever for like 6 years, and that is a fantastic studio. And then I was looking at some other studios with Teray after that. Sometimes it's good to just change it up. But now I think once they're allowed to open back up, I might head back to Moto again. So,
okay.
but
I
it's
used
a
to go to yoga
fantastic.
to the people on 35th.
Yeah, I went there a couple of times.
I went to the one.
That's where I went. That's where I started. 37.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's
no,
where I started.
there was one on 30. What'd you say? 35th. Then there was one on 27th, I think, and 26th. There was two smaller
Okay.
studios on there. And
Yeah,
I
I
think
went to the one in the 30s. Because it used to be right. I used to work in Midtown, so it used to be right down from my job. And I used to go there. I used to sneak out and go there and come back.
That's great. Hey, and you felt great, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else is probably like, "Oh, I'm tired," whatever, and you're like, "I'm good."
Yeah. And people, like you said, people think I'm crazy. They like, you go sit in a hot room, you're asthmatic. I'll be like, yo, I don't use my pump. I don't do none of that. I don't. It's so.
I'm asthmatic too.
Yeah.
I'm asthmatic too, but I've
helps with the breath.
It's been under control. Breathing.
Yeah, it helps. It helps. It definitely helps.
You're not plant-based, right?
No, not.
I think it might help with the asthma. I'm just putting it out there.
No, so listen. So I don't eat. I was about to say I don't eat yoga. I don't do dairy.
Okay, all right.
I switch. Don't do nothing dairy. I don't eat dairy yogurt. I don't do dairy cheese. I don't do dairy. And I actually got my son off of dairy because he's a chronic asthmatic, and he told me he's seen the difference soon as he stopped eating cheese and all that. So I have him on the so he buys his oat milk and everything, and I do the same thing. So I'm not plant-based yet.
I mean, I still eat seafood though. I eat seafood. I still eat seafood.
Yes.
But I just no dairy, no milk, no cheese, no eggs.
Okay, so I do eggs. I just don't do no dairy.
So do you see a difference?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I know
yeah. I even do the vegan eggs. Like I don't do no dairy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. See,
yeah,
it's really
you. Good. I really would love to be a vegan, but how my chicken be set up. And I don't do red meat. I don't do pork. I only eat chicken, lamb, turkey every once in a while, and duck.
I ain't gonna lie. I miss lamb. I miss lamb, but I leave it alone.
Girl.
Tyrone cook it and the smell, I be like, oh.
So you're totally.
But I feel too good, so I don't let it. You know,
you're totally plant-based.
No, I eat seafood still.
Instead of seafood, okay.
Yeah, well, but no chicken, no beef, no lamb.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Today is gonna be 2 years.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Listen.
Thanks, Whitney. She's 100% vegan.
You're vegan. Okay.
Yeah, I just say I'm plant-based. Yeah, I'm vegan. Okay. You know, I mean, it's hard because I don't say I'm a strict vegan because I do have some honey from time to time. And if you're a really strict vegan, you're not even allowed to have honey. So I kind of just, you know, I try to practice a vegan lifestyle. Okay. You know, I've switched over. Like my clothing, I try not to buy leather, you know, stuff like that, leather shoes. And it's a process. It's not something that happens overnight. Let me tell you, it is a process. But my diet is strictly plant-based. And, but like I said, I have honey once in a while. So I can't really say that I'm vegan because I eat honey. But yes, that's what you know, plants are my thing. So, but you know, I always say whatever works for you, you have to find what works for you. And yeah, that's the way it is.
That balance. Everything is different for everybody, but I definitely say like the red meat and the pork is definitely a no. Even the chicken, right? And it was crazy because I hadn't had like turkey in a while. And I had cooked some turkey sausage the other day, and the smell bothered me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't want that. It was like, you know, I don't want that. So even with the chicken and stuff, I've been kind of like not doing it so much. Like I'll cut it out. Like, you know, I'll eat it, but then I'll be like, I don't want it, you know, for another couple of days. So, and we stopped buying so much bulk because it's just me and my wife here. Mm-hmm. So we eat a lot of seafood, you know. We eat lamb chops more than anything. We'll do the lamb chops, the duck, I'm really trying to wean myself off of chicken as much as possible. So it's a process though.
It is a process. Yeah.
It's a process. Because when that's Southern cooking. And I even had to.
You know what? I was raised on that. I was raised, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina originally. And, it was fried chicken and country style steak. And I mean, my parents, though, my family were farmers, and we grew our own vegetables, everything organic and this and that. So, but everything was homemade,
Right.
But still, and my mom still would cook healthy instead of frying the chicken with the skin on it. She would actually take the skin off and do an olive oil type of crust. She was way ahead of her time when she was cooking for us.
Right.
But we still had country style steak, you had mashed potatoes, you had gravy, you had biscuits, homemade biscuits, butter, the whole
We're making somebody hungry out there.
Apple pie, I mean, it was like, whoa. Yeah. But it was real cooking. They used real ingredients.
And that's the thing now. A lot is not, these ingredients is not, when I see people cooking, I'm like, what is that?
Yeah,
what you was making, no, that's not. Who buys pre-grated cheese? Like, no, you don't buy that. Like, no. You don't make mac and cheese with pre-grated cheese. You gotta break your shoulder. You gotta break the cheese. Right. But even when it's crazy because now when I bake, I have my own baking. I do homemade cheesecakes and so many different flavors. I don't do nothing typical. So, but the cream cheese, the sour cream. So that's the only time that because I have to taste it. That's the only time that I'll have dairy. And that's, most of my big times are Christmas and Thanksgiving. I'll get 100, 150 orders. So even that is kind of
Make us a vegan one.
Yeah.
You can buy vegan cream cheese. Whitney Make us a vegan version.
Back in the day, my mom started making, and this was when I was I guess in high school. So, years ago, she would, 25 years ago, she was making vegan cheesecakes because I had started slowly kind of stop eating stuff. And they, like I said before, my mom and dad were ahead of their time, with the talking about trans fats and all this stuff. People used to make fun of us at church and stuff. They're like, that's that weird family talking about trans fats and saturated fats and other stuff. But she would make vegan cheesecakes for me and they were good. Now she's like, she ain't really cooking now. She's like, I did all my cooking then. I said, hey, I completely understand. Right. You cooked for all those years for us. But she can make a mean vegan cheesecake. I'm like, wow.
I have to try that.
As a challenge. Let's go.
Yeah.
You got bacon going on.
What flavors do y'all like? What kind of pies do you like?
I like sweet potato pies. My favorite.
I have a sweet potato cheesecake.
See, you can make that vegan easy.
Oh, a peanut butter cheesecake, sweet potato.
I did a peanut butter chocolate cheesecake.
Oh,
I have a banana cheesecake with Oreo cookie crust. I have an apple pie cheesecake with butter crunch cookie crust.
Wow. All right, so now really we will buy one. We'll buy one.
Well, so vegan, I would have to think about the
coconut cream and all that kind of stuff. Cashew base maybe.
But for the crust.
We can tell you.
No, for the crust.
For the crust.
Well, you could some
Oreo's a vegan. Oreo's a vegan.
There we go.
Oh,
Oreo's a vegan. Because I would have to think about I don't know if graham crackers are vegan or butter crunch cookies.
But it's okay. Like I said before, we eat honey, or I eat honey, so
right.
honey, so that's
But the cheesecake itself would definitely be vegan.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Buy from you.
Send us a text. And let us know when it's ready and how to pick it up in order.
And we'll do a whole post on it. That'll be great. Yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Or no, that would take too much time because I was gonna say we could do another Zoom one day and you make it first because obviously you got to make it see how it comes out. It comes out well, then you make this one. And then if it's a really cool thing, maybe months later you come back and make it on Zoom live.
Everybody's asked me to do that, like when I'm in the midst of doing it, but it's hard. It's hard, kind of like,
especially baking. You gotta
yeah,
really
when you're baking, because I like to be zoned out, and what zones me out is loud music. So that's hard to kind of do. I'm in here rocking, you know, that's hard to do with. They'll be like, well, what is she saying? And I can't hear. Yeah.
Right.
So.
All right. So, you know, don't worry about that. All I care about is that I get my cake.
I'll figure it out for you guys.
It's been great having you. I love your energy. Yes. Keep it up. Keep putting that out there in the universe.
And thank you for inspiring me, because you inspire me just as much as you say I inspire you. I watch you, and I'm like, I gotta get my life. I gotta work out.
Yeah, we need it. We need that. We need that. Like, I go down and I watch everybody on Instagram, but when I start to see the people I know also doing it, like I might pass by today, I felt like I slacked off last week, and I think it might have been something I seen in yours that I was like,
it's a different connection.
Out of it.
It's a different connection when you see somebody that you personally know.
Yeah.
And it's like an unknown accountability partner.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
Social distance accountability partner.
Yeah. Like, nah, because Shorty done posted 3 times. I ain't did nothing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Listen, we gotta keep it up. We gotta keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
I gotta go home and make your brother's shirt.
Huh?
I gotta go home and make your brother's shirt. Make your sweatshirt.
He stay ordering something from you.
Jay Rizzy, I appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and we're gonna get my shirt from you.
Yes, I'm gonna get the you can rub my head shirt for her.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
All right. So have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
We'll see you on the gram. We'll see you when you blow up.
Thank you.
Even more than you are already.
And hopefully I can make one of y'all classes.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
Let me know. Okay, guys.
We'll let you know when we start in June or July, or you'll start to see, the posts if we somehow forget, and like, hey, let me know. Don't forget our cheesecake.
I won't. Have a good evening.
All right. Good night, y'all.